In the deep, dark forest of Ravenswood, there once lived an old woman named Agatha. She was feared and avoided by the townsfolk who believed that she practiced witchcraft. One night, a group of brave young men decided to put an end to Agatha's supposed evil deeds. Armed with pitchforks and torches, they marched towards her cottage. But as they approached, they heard strange, guttural noises and saw shadows moving inside the cottage. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night air, and the men ran away in terror. The next morning, the villagers discovered that the young men had disappeared without a trace. Agatha's cottage was silent and still, and no one dared to approach it. However, on the night of the full moon, strange noises could be heard coming from the forest, and some claimed to have seen the young men's ghostly figures wandering around Agatha's cottage. Years went by, and the legend of Agatha's curse spread throughout the region. People whispered that she had made a pact with the devil and that anyone who crossed her path would suffer a gruesome fate. Eventually, a young woman named Mary dared to venture into the forest to find out the truth. As she approached Agatha's cottage, she heard the same guttural noises and saw shadows moving inside. But instead of running away, Mary summoned her courage and entered the cottage. Inside, she found Agatha sitting by the fireplace, stirring a cauldron filled with a thick, bubbling liquid. Agatha turned to Mary with a cold, steely gaze, and asked her why she had come. Mary explained that she wanted to know the truth behind the legend. Agatha smiled, and told Mary that she had never practiced witchcraft. She had simply been a lonely old woman who had been shunned by the townsfolk. The strange noises and shadows had been caused by the wild animals that roamed the forest at night. Mary felt a wave of relief wash over her, and she apologized for the villagers' cruel behavior towards Agatha. As she turned to leave, Agatha handed her a small vial filled with the bubbling liquid from the cauldron. "This is a potion that can bring the dead back to life," Agatha said. "Use it wisely, for it is a powerful magic that can have dire consequences." Mary thanked Agatha and left the cottage. But as she walked back through the forest, she heard the sound of footsteps behind her. She turned around, but there was no one there. She quickened her pace, but the footsteps grew louder and more frantic. Finally, she reached the edge of the forest and looked back to see the ghostly figures of the young men emerging from the shadows. They were reaching out to her with twisted, skeletal hands, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Mary realized too late that Agatha's potion was not a gift, but a curse. She had unwittingly unleashed the wrath of the dead upon the living. And as she watched in horror, the ghostly figures of the young men closed in around her, their screams echoing through the night.